run. Take it away.
Hello, I am SMMidi. I speedrun games like this, games that have no ending or minigame based games. WePlay has been my main speed game for years now, and we have come up with a new category idea. It's double bronze. So normally we'd play in one player mode and we'd get the medals by getting the required scores, but here we have the challenge of playing with two remotes at the same time and getting the scores with both controllers. Some of the games have different scoring than usual, so it's going to be very tricky sometimes, and mainly with charge, it's going to be very tricky. But I'm joined by Cindy Fusic, who created the category.
Good morning.
But yeah, we are going to get started with billiards first. So timing won't start here. It will start when I press start over because that is slightly faster. Listen, if we get on a PB attempt, we could do with the half a second of time save. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Wonderful. So MIDI is going to be starting off here with everyone's favorite billiards in two-player mode. So the billiards in general is not supposed to have a score. So already, the fact that there's a score in one-player mode is a little silly. The scoring method for two-player mode gets even sillier because each player gets the number of points that's on the face of the ball. So, for example, if MIDI sunk the 9 ball there, then whatever player he was on would have gotten 9 points. And the goal here is to get each player to 15 points, so he kind of has to balance it out. If they need to switch players, they can just they can miss a shot intentionally, they can hit a foul. I think those are the two options. They can hit a ball off the table.
Yeah. If I miss a shot or I get a foul, then it will swap to the other player. The fouls do subtract points here. That almost went in. The fouls do subtract points. They subtract 3 at the end of the game, so I do need to be a little bit careful there if that happens. This is not ideal. Basically, the break shot is completely random. You can get really lucky or really unlucky. The most balls sunk on the break shot is 7. Normally in these runs, I'm going to get about 2. But to be honest, because we need to share points between the players anyway, it's not really too concerning. I'm just going to avoid a foul there just in case I need to stock up on points. But the 7 and the 8 ball should finish this off. But the important thing is if I foul, not only do I lose 3 points, I also lose the any points that I would have got there for those balls. That was actually pretty good lineup for this ball, and we're all done. But yeah, that is it. And because of an intricacy with this category, we can actually quit the moment we have the score requirement. We will get into that later for Find Me. But here I am going to just really focus on this game because this is really, really, really tricky.
Yeah, so Charge is definitely the hardest game in this run. Requires 170 points with each controller. The approach we take to this generally is doing it one controller at a time, and most of the reason that's possible is because two-player Charge has insane rubber banding, and when one player gets way ahead, the other player will automatically catch up. So MIDI is going to go for 170 with the first remote and switch to the second remote. Yeah, that's gonna be
that game was going south pretty quickly. I needed to restart that. That's alright.
You'll notice in two-player mode, these red scarecrows are even more valuable than they'd normally be. They're 15 points. And they also happen to have the most annoying movement patterns, so missing those can be very easy and detrimental.
I need to get these 8 points at the beginning, really, to help me.
Yeah, it's very tight. It's a very tight route.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm actually resting the second controller on my phone to have a slight angle to the right to pick up those 8 points. And then when it gets those 8 points, I'm then resting it on my laptop Yeah, I got intercepted there because of the rubber banding. Yeah, then I'm resting it on my laptop, so it is at even more of a tight angle, so it just keeps on bonking into the wall pretty much, rather than going straight for me, because otherwise going straight forward with the player 2 controller does mean it will just pretty much stay with you the whole time and be at really bad positions. Yeah, so we barely avoid that there. Yeah, this is... Okay, as long as we get past this one as well. Okay, I'm just gonna sacrifice that. That's fine. This is a weird route now.
That was an interesting maneuver.
Yeah, this is interesting now, because I would not normally do that, and we are gonna be tight on... How are you... Okay, I don't get how any of that has happened. I'm gonna pause buffer. Somehow we're on 54 points. We're about 40 points ahead of where I usually would be with player 2. I'm just gonna avoid that one, because that's just inconvenient for me to get there now. We're probably going to be behind on time in terms of the IGT, which, by the way, normally you get 90 seconds. Here in 2-player mode, you only get 60. That's why this is tricky. I think, by some miracle, we're good.
Wow,
that will never happen again.
That was incredible.
You know what else is, do you want to know what else is incredible? This raid that we just got. Thank you, Arctic, for the raid. 124 people raid. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. We are Fast-Paced Events. This is Fast-Paced for Pride 2025, and we are raising money for Gate. We currently have a donation incentive to kind of extend this run a little bit more for some bonus tank stages, and we got a $25 donation from Lilac Oligochi going into that $25 and into that We Play bonus tank stages incentive. We're now officially halfway through the goal of $150. So if you want to see some more We Play at the end of this run, make sure that when you're donating, hit the link should be in chat right now. So when you are donating, make sure that you select the We Play incentive so that your donation, which is going to go towards Gate, make sure that it goes towards that incentive, as well as a couple of bit worth that we got going on right now. Dr. Mario and Puzzle League Choose the Music, and Project Plus Choose the Name Tag, and that $25 donation from Lilac did went into, I don't know sort of how to vocalize it, but it is the colon and 3 trying to say, like, trying to make a smiley face, which I don't know how to vocalize it, but that is that is tied with 4 Gate as the lead option for Choose the Name Tag.
Thank you so much, yeah.
For those who just saw me into tanks for like 5 seconds and then realised that that's at the end of the run today because of the incentive, no, you saw nothing. This is shooting range. We need 200 points with both controllers. I did really well on the target section, but basically you get combo points. Targets spawn quicker if you hit them fast, so that was really good. And actually this went so well we can just quit on this level, which is really nice. That was actually a gold split. Fantastic.
Delightful. Yeah,
and now we move on to Find Me, which is one of the longer games. This is very interesting compared to normal Find Me. There's a lot of random changes.
Yeah, so Find Me in 2-player has each player gain points based on which questions, which select correct or incorrect me's they're selecting. But what also comes with that is answering questions correctly no longer increases the timer. So it actually isn't really possible to get to the last level on this one. There is a last level, but it's not really possible to do 99 levels in 120 seconds unless you're literally a robot. Which, you know, if you happen to be a tool-assisted speedrun, that's great. Most people aren't. So for double bronze though, we're just gonna kind of steal the bronze requirement of doing 20 levels, which isn't the same as all the other ones in the sense that, like, it's not based on the number of points that each player is getting. But 20 levels is a pretty good requirement. And MIDI is also going to have 2 remotes to work with here, which is a cool change of pace.
Yeah, it is nice in a way because the game doesn't really punish you for wrong answers. You can just keep pressing until you get it right. There is hitbox strat, which basically means the correct answer... Wow, odd me out. Yeah, the levels are randomized, by the way. Normally they're in the same position every time. So, yeah, odd me out is pretty rare. This early, especially.
I hate to sort of bump in, but, Midi, I do have a bit of an announcement. Actually, not a bit. It's a major, major announcement. The Wii Tanks bonus stages has been met. Nice. Thanks to a $100 donation from Anonymous that pushed us way over the moon to meet the incentive. So, Midi, don't go anywhere after that 8th stage in Tanks because you're going to do all of them.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. I have been practicing for it because it is pretty tricky. But yeah, hopefully that goes well for us. Yeah, we'll be seeing that at the end of the run. Normally I would play Tanks quite early because it's really, really important for time save. But yeah, here we'll be playing at the end just so we can extend the run. So yeah, this is going to end at level 20. The main thing here is that all the answers are separate from each other. So 3 lookalikes, normally we'd need to get all 3 right answers. But because the answers are separate from each other, we can just keep pressing until we find one of the right ones and then go from there. So this is the final level, and we will quit once we have all of the right answers here. There we go. That is Find Me finished. And we're moving on now to fishing. So fishing in this game is even more bizarre than usual. So in regular 1-player mode, you always get 5 fish. Here, the game can spawn anything between 2 and 8 fish at the beginning, and we have no idea why. Yeah, just like more RNG in this game. If there was one thing I wanted this game to have, it was more RNG. I didn't think there was enough already. Yeah. So we have the bonus fish here, that gives us double points. If I'm honest, 8 fish is kind of not ideal because it makes it trickier to avoid, especially the small fry there. They give negative points, so we want to avoid those. Yeah, touchy fish zip around if we do too many sharp movements. Something else that happens here is if the line is taking a bite and the other line is close by, they will actually both lock on, so you can kind of steal the other one. This is okay so far. I'm going to get to 1,000 with this one, and then 2,000 is pretty tricky. It's, in terms of the regular medal requirements, it is between the silver medal requirement, which is 1,600, and the regular requirement for gold, which is 2,300. So it is a bit tricky. We are going to pretty much need the King of the Pond. The main thing here is that every time we catch a fish, that's just a little bit of time lost, so I will be avoiding that where possible. This is actually really good. So we might be getting 2 fish strat. Normally that's a regular bronze medal thing, where the minimum number of fish you need for 1,000 points, which is bronze medal. Yeah, the minimum fish you need is 2, and that's exactly what we just got. That's actually the first time I've done that in double bronze. So we can quit out there and move on to Pose Me.
Awesome. Yeah, fishing besides charge was, I think, the second biggest reason I did not want to try to run this.
Yeah. Yeah, fishing is surprisingly tricky.
One thing you might start wondering in a run like this is why double bronze and not like double silver or double gold? Because in a game like Find Me, for instance, it's easy to say, well, you could just do 40 levels instead of 20. The biggest 2 reasons were at the beginning of the run. Charge, it's just not happening at all. And billiards, there literally just aren't enough points to do more than bronze with each Wii remote. There's the numbers 1 through 9 add up to 45 possible points, and the silver requirement would be like 27, I think.
Yeah.
So multiply that by 2, and that's already impossible. So I think that's probably for the best. Yeah. Double bronze is hard enough.
So here I need 150. We get double points if we pop the opposite color, so I'm kind of trying to keep track of those. Rainbow bubbles do stun the other player in 2-player mode, so I have to keep track of that. And yeah, we're going to quit at 150. I did actually swap hands with the controllers for this, and I'm going to swap back again because I will generally get more with the controller in my right hand because I'm right-handed, so that will help me for this game. 150, and we're done. And next is laser hockey. I mean, this is a little bit silly. We need to get 3 points normally, but this is a 2-player game. Normally there's a timer, but here we don't even have that. It's just a first to 8 points. So what we're gonna do is just concede 3 goals, and then that is all. And then we only have a couple of games remaining, including tanks, which we have hit the incentive for. There we go. So I'll do that. And then we are done. And then we're moving on to table tennis, which is really awkward. I need 40 hits with both controllers, excluding serves. So I will need to count in my head. I will get some backup shots. But yeah, this is... The scoring works completely differently here, so we're having to just do the regular bronze medal requirement.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to mess up their counting here.
Yeah, I got 8 so far, I think. Okay, so that's 10. 1, 2, 3. And by the way, normally I would end with this game because then it doesn't really matter if you get the counting right or not. It will just you can just retime it. Okay, it's 22. The good thing is this is a first to 11 point game, so assuming I don't have a nightmare here, we will at least get out of table tennis. Normally you have to do it... Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Normally you have to do it all in one rally in one player mode, but here that would be unrealistic. And the ruling is that it's still in the same game. That's 30. Again, I will be... there are some backup hits included in there as well, just to be safe. Yeah, you get smash shots in here as well. This is more in-depth than regular table tennis, but no one really knows how it works. So, it's a little bit silly. But it's a bit more involved than regular table tennis. And I'll just get a couple of extra bonus hits. There we go. That's 40. And then we will move on to tanks, which is much trickier. In fact, I'm going to need to put some elastic bands around my remotes to make sure it works a lot better for this. The reason I'm using elastic bands is because it allows me to have free movement of the actual the sensors in the Wii remotes, rather than for other games. Oh, oops. Well, I guess we get to talk about the life system in this game, because normally you would have 3 lives to start, and then you'd get bonus lives every 5 missions. Here, there are no lives. If you both die, it's game over. So this is difficult. But this is one of the only missions I'll play with both at the same time, because I can hold the buttons from the beginning. Another thing with this is that the different tanks will be in a random position, either in one position or the other with the 2 player spawn points. They can swap. The enemy tanks will always be in the same spots, though. So I will try this.
Yes, this is true.
Whoops, that is the wrong way. That happens. Okay, I do need to be careful now, because again, if I die, I will need to restart tanks, and because of that incentive, we will be playing all 20 missions.
Yeah, so Mini is just going to be doing all 20 because of the incentive here. But one thing you might be wondering is, in the normal run, what would you do? Would you just do 5 levels because you need 5 levels for a bronze medal? Well, not exactly, because implicitly, not really implicitly, it tells you, but sort of unintuitively, the medal requirements in tanks are based on the number of tanks, the total number of tanks that you've shot by the end of the game, or I guess just whenever you die, and they happen to coincide with the end of certain levels, but they are still a number of tanks. So for double bronze, we say that you need to kill 11 tanks with both players, which you can be done with by mission 8. Doesn't matter, we're going to mission 20. But in case you were wondering how it would normally work.
Oh, I tried to...
I thought that would work. I thought that would work.
I thought I died. There was a rocket bullet pelting towards the bottom of the screen. This is a 2.5 dimensional game, so it's really tricky to keep track of like the mines and where they are and everything. because yellow tanks especially lay a bunch of mines. They have 4 mines maximum, so you have to be really, really careful. And I can't see them if they put them directly next to a wall. So yeah, that can be tough. But yeah, as we mentioned, we've got 11 now, so that would be time on double bronze. But we are going to see all 20 missions. Yeah, normally in a regular tanks co-op run, I would be flying very close to the sun. I'm in a difficult spot here. Yeah, these pink tanks get 3 bullets each. So, and they do fire quite quickly. So yeah, that's tough. Normally I'd be flying quite close to the sun for a PB attempt. I actually PB'd in this yesterday when I was practicing. Here is quite a nice one. I will leave that tank there. Some of these spawn points are really nice where you can just kind of leave them. And then it kind of acts like a pseudo bonus life in a way. Because the tanks will not really get anywhere close to that. I think... Yeah, teals are really good at dodging, if you couldn't already tell. They all have different behaviours. Teals shoot rocket bullets, and they're very good at dodging. We now get greens, which are different, and they will probably snipe my blue tank and be very rude. That's normally what happens. So we're just going to do some clever angles and be careful on this one. We managed to keep the blue one alive, which is nice. I will just use some rebounds. Basically, every time you get 5 bullets each, every time a bullet rebounds, it can rebound once, but on the second hit of an obstacle, it will be destroyed and you get your bullet back instantly. So if you do rebounds, which I will refer to as like spray shots, okay, we're playing this with 1 life. If you do spray shots, that will actually be better because you kind of get your bullets back quicker. So once again, mines last 10 seconds, so I do just need to be very careful going around sort of blind spots, because I'm pretty confident there aren't any mines anywhere, but I can't be sure that one's close. Okay. Once again, game over if I fail this, so yeah. I am just gonna be very careful here. Teals are just... Okay, they're just dodging at every possible moment. Alright, you're gonna go that way. Come on, please. Please. Okay, right, we're going to bait out the hit, and then we're going to go. Normally, that is fine, as long as you just kind of stay perpendicular to where the bullet is going. Teals are very predictable with where their shots are going. This is a tricky one. I'm going to start by trying to get this one, and then I hope that won't hit... Okay, that won't hit the red tank, so we're good to leave that for now. I'm now going to focus on the blue one, and pink is being a bit of a bully. Going around to there. Yeah, greens get 2 rebounds as well, so I have to be very careful with those. How am I... Okay, there was a green
Yeah,
there,
I was gonna say. Wow.
Okay, so that's a quirk of tanks where if it thinks that it's going to friendly fire another enemy tank, it just won't hit you. And I kind of get a bit thrown off on that mission purely because the structure of it in 2-player mode is very different. Normally, okay, that's interesting. They kind of got him stuck in fight or flight mode there, and didn't really know what to do. Yeah, so in 2-player mode, some of the enemy tank positions are different to accommodate for kind of a little bit more symmetry. So normally you would start in the bottom left, but because there is a tank in the top right as well, they kind of had to move all the tanks to the middle. So it means there's an extra green in the middle, and that compared to normal, so that is pretty tricky. I will start by trying to hit both these purples. Fantastic. Purples get the same loadout we do, 5 bullets and 2 mines. That's a good rebound. But they do fire quite quickly and quite sporadically, so we do have to be very careful. Okay, this is the hardest mission. Alright, that's the hardest part, but it's not over. Even in 1-player mode, people find this tricky, but when you're faced with 2 1v1s right at the beginning, that is pretty much the bottleneck for anyone to do 1p2c, I would say. Because there are people that have done 1p2c, but most of the time they will do shorter IOs, like 5 missions. Doing all 20 is a very different beast. I am just going to sacrifice that one. Okay, let's just play very, very carefully with the green. Yeah, the green actually got moved at the beginning there, so... Basically, the enemy tanks can shove the tanks around, and that kind of did happen there. I'll be very careful with this purple, because yeah, we've got another purple to deal with. That spray should hit, there we go. yeah, some of these are just going to be very, very defensive and not playable. I'm just going to run away because I'm not confident the pink is... the pink could very easily just peek out and then really throw me off, and suddenly I'm having to defend. Okay, let's see if that hits. There we go. Nice. I should have played that safer, but listen. I don't want to play too safe. Okay, but here I will be. This is, yeah, really tricky. 2 1v1s right at the beginning. I'm going to sacrifice that one. That was going really bad at the bottom there. Okay, these are being really, really unkind. They are insisting on being very offensive here.
Chat, I want to say one thing you might remember from playing Wii Tanks as a kid is having a nunchuck. And if you're visualizing MIDI with 4 controllers right now, that's reasonable. But what you may have forgotten is that you can also play this game with the D-pad. So I believe MIDI is currently just using the D-pad on both controllers.
I am, yeah.
But I think you just do that in one-player mode anyway. Like, I think you just play that way.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so there the go. That's what that's about.
A lot of people ask me, oh, I can't run tanks because I don't have a nunchuck, and it's like, oh, I play on D-pad anyway. But there are runners who use nunchuck. Big shout-outs to 12 Kelvin, who has many of the big world records here. By the way, white tanks go invisible, but we can see their tracks. This will be time when we hit the last tank, if we hit it. There it is, time. I should say if we hit it, because again, we can always game over there. It is a tricky mission. Yeah.
GG.
Thank you. But yeah, that's all 20 missions. I'm so glad that went well. Charge is one thing, but we can just keep retrying charge. If we fail tanks, it's done. And that's just it. So I'm very glad that went well. But that is double bronze. So it's a very interesting category. I should probably show you how I've got the controllers set up. I've got rubber bands around the controllers, so I can do this with like the free movement of the cursors. Makes it a lot easier to sort of use both on the fly rather than holding them separately. If I hold them separately, it's impossible. The first day I did Tanks 1P2C, I realized within 5 minutes I would never be able to do it. But yeah, that really does help. It's not the only thing we do in this game. I currently have 2 pieces of post-it note on my screen for regular bronze medals for frame perfect death setup. So basically in tanks, if you die on the same frame as the last enemy tank, right at the end, you both die and progress. So that saves time in that category. It's a huge thing there. I've now got post-it notes on my screen to mark where I need to fire a bullet. So we're really getting desperate for time save in this game at this point. But that's another thing. That's a different category. Yeah, I obviously want to give shouts to Cindy Fusic for joining me today and coming up with this category because it's really, really fun. It's very tricky, especially to optimize, because my PB in this is a 1414, which at that point you even need a really good billiards as well, so that's very tricky. But yeah, you can catch me doing runs of We Play, mainly regular bronze medals for sub 18 minutes at the moment on my Twitch, SMMidi, and that's about it. I also run other games like this, a lot of other Wii Series stuff. We've currently got a Wii Sports Golf tournament coming up, so that's a thing. We should probably plug that, because the sign-ups are still open.
This is true. Sign-ups close December 5th. If you like Wii Sports 9-hole golf speedruns, join our tournament.
Yeah. Cindy Fusic, any shout-outs from you?
Not really. Shout out the whole We Play community. Love y'all. Love this game. It's unrivaled.
True. But yeah, that is all.
All right, well, Midi, thank you so much for just a wonderful, Tanks, for a wonderful, wonderful showcase of We Play, and I'm so happy that we met the incentive to look at the other stages for Tanks, and I'm really excited for how this day 3 has shaped out so far. We've got a lot of donations coming in. We also had a $12